Hi everyone. So I wasn't even gonna make a video today because last night I got hit with some really strong energies, and I was just in a space where I wanted to snuggle up in my boyfriend's arms and just like be held because I was just feeling so much. And it was like when you're an empath, you can't always pinpoint where those feelings are coming from, you know? And it was I knew it was collective energy because usually if it's something that's me, I can pinpoint it. I can really figure out what the source of it is. So when the collective energy comes in like that and it's really heavy, it's like sometimes it feels debilitating, and the universe, you know really really was sending me a message about how insecurities are bubbling up right now, and fear is like, I feel it. I felt it so much last night, and it was like fears related to insecurities. And I feel, and what they were telling me was there's a lot of light workers that are kind of just hiding behind the curtains, afraid to come out as their authentic selves, like scared to death. And what they wanted me to entitle this video is "You Are a Powerful Warrior of Light." And that's the message they want to get across. And there's a few other things that they wanted me to bring forward because it's becoming more prevalent in the spiritual community and it needs to be talked about. But and I wrote everything down in a specific order, so because like for me, when I get to talking, sometimes I can go off on tangents and then it's not in this cohesive order that's like easy to understand, because my mind it runs a million miles a minute. Sometimes you'll notice, like if you've seen my videos in the past, like I'll just keep talking in one sentence to the next sentence to the next sentence, like there's no pause in between, there's no, it just shoots out of me. And I really wanted to make sure, because this topic is sensitive, I wanted to make sure it comes out in the way that it needs to be received, because it's very important to the point where, I was at the gym this morning. I was just trying to like move the energy through my body, because if I don't, it'll get stuck. That's one of the ways that I use the gym as a tool to help me not just ground, because when you connect with your body and you're in the moment with your body, it helps you ground, like salt baths. Anytime where you're just like feeling everything and you're really interactive and in that moment, you're grounding yourself. So like getting physical and stuff for me is like huge. So I definitely did not expect to need to come on and deliver a message until I was at the gym and just receiving downloads. And I was like, okay, I need to talk about this, because all of these light workers and way showers that are hiding behind the curtains, there are some reasons why. And it's, of course, it's because of internal issues. But us as a community, as a spiritual community, the very unhealed people that have started their awakening but have run into energy blocks aren't helping other people who are trying to come out either. And the reason this is because a lot of people have this spiritual ego. And so, and I don't know if I ever went through a spiritual ego phase, but I did go through a phase where I felt the need to like debate people about things. It was like I felt like I knew everything. And in my mind at the time, I didn't think I was a know-it-all. But looking back, I was like, wow, like I felt like I always needed to correct somebody. I felt like I need to read something, and if I disagreed with it, share why I disagreed with it. Instead of like now, this was several years ago, instead of now where I can look at something, be like, wow, maybe I don't agree with this, but I respect that person's perspective. I know that's how they view things from where they are where they're at right now in their level of consciousness and in their journey and in their growth process. And just live and let live and move on. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Whether you're like, so the online community, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, like Instagram, whatever it is, like we are here together to spread love and light, to support each other. Of course, we're not all going to agree on things. Of course, like, when we get into this, okay, so when we get going and start learning about spirituality, we think everything is so black and white. But when you get to thinking in a quantum way, nothing is black and white. There's a million ways to perceive everything. So there is no truth and untruth. Everything is true from whoever's perspective is seeing that, and from whatever place they are in their process. So once you begin to realize this, it makes it so much easier to open up your heart to, no matter who it is, what they believe, what they're saying, and just, if it resonates with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Leave it. It's so easy to just unsubscribe or not make a comment or not hit the dislike button. When you do those things to people, it makes them afraid to express themselves from where they're at in their journey. It makes them afraid to come out as to who they are. Everybody, when you feel the need to correct somebody, or when you feel the need to like project negative energy because you think that you're doing somebody a service by going on this nasty debate and trying to prove that somebody's right when there is no right. There is no right. Everybody is experiencing things from their own angles, from their own place in their growth process. And so what we do in the beginning is we try to put everyone in this box. Like, we try to put everyone in this box. Well, if you don't eat these certain foods, then that's not good for you, and blah, blah, blah. That's not good for you because you think it's not good for you. Yes, science is great. Yes, we know all these things. And that's the thing, like, everybody like gets very attached to labels. They get attached to belief systems. And when you come into the spiritual world, there's so many different ways of healing, of living a healthy life, so many different ways of doing that. And guess what? Everybody's body is different. Everybody's energy blocks are different. Everybody's higher self is going to tell them a different way to handle their individual situation. So whenever we think we can come in and just have this harsh opinion, and you will know if what you're about to say is to help somebody, or is to throw shade, or is to criticize, or because it's the energy, it's how it feels when you put it out there. And when you do that, you're poisoning yourself. You're poisoning yourself. And you're not spreading one love and light. You're creating more duality and separation. And this is all based off of internal insecurities. So not only are you poisoning yourself, but you're putting poisonous negative energy out in the spiritual community where people are just trying to learn and grow. When you first started awakening and you didn't know very much. I remember when I first started awakening, I didn't even know what a chakra was. I didn't know what Kundalini was. I met my twin flame. I didn't even know what a twin flame was when I met him. I figured it out because I was going through this crazy experience and I couldn't understand. I couldn't put my finger on it. Like, what the hell is this? And that's when my higher self led me to the term twin flame, led me to research it. And I was like, whoa, 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 there's all these parallels. You have to let people discover. You have to we have to help each other. If you want to help somebody because you think that you could help them go in a different direction, how can you do that in a loving way? How can you open up your heart and do that in a loving way? Or maybe you should just let them, if it doesn't resonate with you, you should just leave how you feel to yourself and let their higher self take care of it. Because you're not going to help them align to be able to connect to their intuition, to have that information from their higher self, if you're bashing what they're saying, if you're bashing their perspective. This is a huge reality check for the spiritual community, because I see it all the time. And you know, one of the number one energy blocks that we have is linked to insecurity, because we're bathed in it from the time we're born. We're told to be who we're not. So then we're just trying to fit in. We're just trying to fit in. We're just trying to fit into this box that the world wants us to fit in. We're just trying to go to college and have a family and do all these things. And then we realize, like, maybe that's not me. So when somebody's trying to change and grow, we have to support each other. All right, let me see. I went on a rant and I think I covered everything, but I want to make sure. In the first half here. Yeah, just claim your sovereignty. Like, that's the thing. You're so safe. You're sovereign. You're powerful. You have to believe that. Because once you get into that place where you truly believe you're a sovereign being, you're powerful, like, you're so worthy. Once you get in that space, you repel the bullshit. You repel it. You ever hear that one saying? I always used to like it, and now I think it's a little bit vulgar, but it's like, people want you to fit in this box, and you can shove that box up their ass. Like, now I think it's a little harsh, but it's like, I always like love that quote, because it's like, don't tell me who to be. I'm gonna be who I want to be, and I don't expect anyone else to be just like me, and I'm not going to project all my beliefs on anyone else, because they're for me. And I love when I meet people who have similar beliefs to me, because wow, like, you understand me and I understand you a little. And if I run into somebody on YouTube or out and about and they don't align with everything I believe, that's okay, because it's awesome that you're a little different from me, because if we were all exactly the same, it'd be a really fucking boring world, right? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, stop sending yourself and the collective poison. Like, you know what you know. You know if you're doing it. And I think that when we first start to realize, you know, when you first start waking up, and not even to the fact that there's this huge spiritual awakening, but to the fact that our government is corrupt, and you hear all the conspiracy theories, and you know, like, some of them make a little bit of freaking sense. And then you start seeing all the you know, the factory farming, and they're poisoning us with fluoride in the water. I mean, the list goes on. Once you start learning this stuff, and then you see all, like, people in the 3D who still believe the bullshit. You know, it's easy to think you know everything all of a sudden. And, like, some people get stuck in that phase. I kind of was in that phase for a while, a long time ago. Not that I felt like correcting people all the time, but I really was just pushing. Instead of promoting what I love, I was like bashing all the shit that pissed me off. I was bashing the government. I was bashing, you know, all the factory farming. I was wanting to expose it, but what we don't realize is when we focus on those things, when we keep focusing on the bad shit, we keep manifesting more of the bad shit. Instead, we have to focus on, like, how we want to resolve the problem. So if you are, like, really against factory farming, like, I think we all know by now that that exists, and it's shitty. So present something to make a difference. Start a food truck in your community that's all vegan food and healthy, and, like, those type of things. That is how you promote things that you love. That is how you lift up and bring new amazing things into our world. Not by continuously letting everyone know the shit going on. We all know. We know. What are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? Okay, what's next on my list? Oh, and that's another thing. Like, if you have come out from behind the curtain and you are starting to express your authentic self, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you post a lot of different things on Facebook to your family and friends. Like, you don't even have to be, like, out like on YouTube, but just, like, expressing yourself more, you know? And somebody comes at you, you know how easy it is to just delete a comment? But, like, your ego, if you haven't cleared some, like, little insecurities and energy blocks, your ego wants to get defensive and protect you. Your ego is totally in there for protection, but it's like your higher self has you. So you don't need your ego to protect you by being defensive and start explaining yourself. And then you get all worked up. You feel that energy inside yourself when you want to go debate somebody. Just delete the comment. Or if you feel like you do want to respond in a way that's, like, to each their own. Like, live and let live. It's okay. I respect your perspective. I appreciate you for sharing that with me. You don't have to take it, and you don't have to be offended. And that's how you really step into your power. That's how you really realize, like, wow, like, I just transmuted the bullshit into something beautiful. And that's what we are. We're alchemists. That's what we're here for. Like, that's what light workers are here for. We're here to transmute the bad shit into something beautiful. We're here to hold light for people. We're here to show others how we can make different choices in our lives, how we can perceive things from different perspectives in order to align with our higher self and create a beautiful world of abundance that is, it's there for anyone who wants to grab it. It's a choice every day. Every moment, you're making a choice to perceive your reality in whatever way you choose. If you choose to perceive somebody's negative comment as in they're attacking me and I'm a victim, then that's exactly how you're going to feel energetically on the inside. Or if you choose to have a comment come at you and you either reject it, just don't respond, because you have no what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility to the other person to respond to anyone or anything. You don't owe anyone or anything. Or you can just choose to take a different route. Maybe you do want to interact with this person. Maybe you do want to show them, like, wow, I really respect the fact that you shared your perspective with me. You know, like, maybe we don't agree, but that's okay. And that's how we all grow, by sharing each other's perspectives and seeing things in different ways, and loving and accepting and spreading light. Loving people for who they are, from where they're at. It's so important. Yeah, and that's what I was just saying. We're here to lift up others. Just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And this is what Source shared with me, and I want to share with you. My guides told me to look in the mirror and say this, and I'm just going to say it to you guys. I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I get it right. It is really important to be able to look in the mirror and say affirmations to yourself and feel totally comfortable. If you feel uncomfortable looking in the mirror and saying an affirmation, you need to do it more. You need to get to the point where you look at yourself and you are just feeling so worthy and empowered and just invincible, because you are. You really, really are. And don't let anyone let you be afraid to be who you are, to be your authentic self and express yourself in whatever way you want. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to be unique. We're here to show, like, who we are and like shine our light. And the best way to shine your light is to be authentically who you are and express all your gifts in, like, the most, you know what flow is. There's a book. It's a psychology book. I forget who wrote it. It's called Flow. And flow is basically just being in alignment, doing what you absolutely love, and being your authentic self, and just being in that state of flow. And there's a whole science behind it if you want to check that book out. But that's what we're here for. And when people see you flow, they're like, damn, I want that too. I want that too. So, yeah, okay, so here's the affirmation. And you can say it to yourself. I'm reading it as if I'm reading it to you guys. There's no energy that is stronger than you. You're an empowered, sovereign being of light. Come out and let it shine. And I'm going to end on that because it's such a beautiful affirmation. And I really hope that you guys will just look at yourself in the mirror and say that to yourself, because it's so true. And nothing can bring you down because you're so powerful and strong and invincible. Just know that. You're a warrior of light. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.